Hello YouTube. I'm getting back to my self-helpy roots. I know a lot of my videos are all about self-help and garbage, and a lot of them are like 15 minutes long. So I'm going to try to cut them down a little bit more and everything. And they're too long to begin with because YouTube videos are usually like a minute long or something like that. So I'm going to try to get back to my self-helpy roots and try to reduce the length of my videos as much as humanly possible. So bear with me here, and hopefully you'll get something out of this. And so I just heard from one of my veteran friends that he just got a job. Now, normally in like American culture, this is a good thing, but like I've said in a previous video, whenever you get a job, as an American citizen, you have 4 years of unemployment. You can only take 99 weeks at a time, which means that you can go on unemployment 2 times grand total for the maximum length, and then after that you're done. You can't have any more unemployment, but you can live 4 years of your life on unemployment if you wish to do so. This is essential time that you can use for a lot of things. Like, say all you do on unemployment as an American citizen is that you take full-time classes at a local college. Without a college degree, without a high school degree, your job prospects are around the $15,000 a year range. That's not very much, and you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices and a lot of compromises in your life whenever you do that kind of stuff. You're going to have to choose the apartment over the house or something like that, because there's going to be a lot of sacrifices made. You're not going to be able to do the new car or something like that. You're not going to be able to buy the pussy magnet or whatever the hell that you think that is going to get you laid. You're not going to be able to maximize your swag or anything like that. And whenever you start leaning on credit cards, it's just going to turn into credit card debt. You're going to think that you're going to be the one person that's going to be really good with credit cards, but you're not going to. You don't have the education, you don't have the self-control. It's just, I mean, this is statistics. It's just like saying, whenever you get married, sorry to say, but the divorce rate is over 60%. Are you going to be in that statistical range? Most likely. You are most likely going to not have a happy marriage. Sorry, but that's just the way things are. Statistically speaking, you're not going to have a very successful life. And the big thing is, your life is bigger than you. Now, a lot of people out there say that whenever somebody kills themselves, that's very, very selfish. It's a selfish act. And you may not know exactly why that is. I thought for the longest time, I was just like, what are they talking about? But literally, the big thing that people miss is that your life is bigger than you. Your life is bigger than you. And that's weird. It's weird to think about that, but it's true. Whenever have you ever had somebody, like, say that you're a man like me? Have you ever had somebody who you see them every day and they just brighten up your whole day, your whole life? You know, and like your life wouldn't be the same without them brightening it up. And maybe they're a long time ago. Maybe that's a long time past. Like as a teenager, and this is disgusting, and I know, and I realize that. But as a teenager, there was a girl that made my gym class, and every day I would wait for gym class because she made my gym class, and she ended up making my whole day. She brightened up my whole day because of the whole of seeing her in gym class. And what made my whole day about it was the fact that she rolled up her shorts. She rolled up her shorts on the side. She would roll them up, and so like it was more of a bikini than gym shorts, and you could see like her ass, and which was phenomenal. And I know that's disgusting, and that's like a really bad reason to have your day made or something like that, but that got me through the day. As long as I saw that, that was fine. And being a teenager is hard. You may not remember, but being a teenager was excruciatingly difficult. You were very self-conscious at that point in time. Everything that everybody that It always seemed like everybody was looking at you all the time, and so you're like, do I have the right look on my face? Does my hair look nice? Oh my God, what's happening? I mean, if you take a psychology course and they walk you through the human experience and everything, literally, teenagers' brains are so self-centered and so self-focused that they feel like everybody is looking at them all the time. That's why they say things like, "Oh my God, Mom, I can't wear this shirt. They'll fucking kill me at school." And you're like, why do you care about other people's opinions so much? It's literally the stage of their life and their brain. Just like whenever you're a kid, whenever you talk to a little baby and you say, "You better eat your food. There are people starving and dying in Africa." They literally cannot imagine that concept because they're not starving and dying, so why would people in Africa be starving and dying? They can't put themselves in somebody else's shoes. It's not part, they literally can't. As their brain cannot operate that way at that point in time. And so, they move on from there. But, so, being a teenager is really hard, stuff like that. And so the little things really do get you through your day as a teenager. There are a lot of teenage suicides, and yeah, it's horrible and everything because they had so much life to live and blah, blah, blah. And, you can take that and you can argue with that however you want. You can say, well, yeah, it's a tragedy whenever a little kid dies because they have so much life to live. But, they could have been an asshole. You have no idea. They could have been the next Hitler. You have no idea. They could have shot up their school. You have no clue. But, I mean, my argument is that statistically, we're all good people. Statistically, we're good people, and so it is a big tragedy whenever a teenager or a child dies because statistically, like 99% of the population are basically good people, and they will do good things, and they're going to cheer each other up, and you have no idea. You could be the guy or the gal that people fawn over every single day. You could be the girl in gym class. You could be the guy in gym class. I had no idea how many people had a crush on me after high school, while I was in high school, until I got into the military. And every time I would go on leave, I would have a new girlfriend. For that little leave period, for that like 3 weeks or something like that, I would have a new girlfriend because these girls just came out of the woodwork. I had no idea. And look at me. I'm not exactly the most attractive individual on the planet. So this is especially surprising, especially to me. I look awful. I look like I live in my mom's basement. So this is that was a heck of a surprise for me. And I wasn't even really a looker back then in the military. Whenever I was a little bit more cleaned up, I don't think so. So all of these things kind of come into play. But literally, you may be saying right now, yeah, right, I'm not going to be the guy that's, does this, or I'm not going to be, nobody cares about me in particular, like you're the most special person in the universe, and nobody gives a shit about you. That's very, very highly fucking unlikely. You may think that you're not pretty as a girl, but guess what, you are. Your life is bigger than you. You could be making somebody's day. And that's very important to realize whenever we come to all this, whenever we start wrapping this thing up together, is because the thing that everybody is missing is that your life is bigger than you. So, as a non-high school graduate, my job prospects are that I'm going to be making about $15,000 a year. That's not very much. I'm going to have to make a lot of sacrifices. As if you just take your 4 years of unemployment and you take college for those 4 years, you will become a college graduate, which jumps you up in the pay cycle up to $45,000 a year. Now, research has shown that after $75,000 a year, the money stops buying happiness. You stop being more happy because you're making more money at $75,000 a year. So $45,000 a year is an exponential increase in cash. And all you have to do is work a job for about 6 months or something like that, quit, or get fired, get sacked, whatever, get the severance package, and then start taking your unemployment. The only problem is that here in America, we think of unemployment as a very, very bad thing. But that has been information passed down from on high. I've explained this before, but it's a crab trap. You put one crab in a bucket and then it crawls out of the bucket. But if you put two crabs in a bucket, every time one of them tries to crawl out, they'll grab onto each other's legs and they'll pull themselves back down to the bucket. That's what this is. We look at people who are taking temporary assistance for needy families, and in any way, shape, or form, food stamps, WIC, women, infants, and children, or unemployment, or even Medicare, Medicaid. We look at those people and we say, you're bad people. And so we say, you're welfare clean, or you're this, you're that. And all these people, they're just living off of this stuff, and they're doing all this stuff. And literally, this is the pay jump that you can have as an American citizen. If you just take those 4 years of unemployment, statistically speaking, you could do a pay jump from $15,000 a year to $45,000 a year. Your life is bigger than you. This not only affects your life. You're saying, well, I'm not a money grubbing, I don't care about the money, blah, 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 blah. No, this is bigger than you. Like, literally, this affects your child's life. There are a lot of stuff that you went through as a kid, because we've all suffered in some way, shape, or form. We've all stubbed our toe. We've all stepped on a Lego. So there's a lot of shit that you went through as a kid. And you have two choices. You can either let your kid go through the same shit, or you can improve so that your kid doesn't have to go through the same shit that you went through. My mom got the shit kicked out of her as a kid. My mom had a lot of bad things happen to her, and I had a lot of bad things happen to me, but not nearly as many as my mom. And I'm going to try to make my kid not have nearly as many bad things happen to him. There's like something clicking in there, but there's a lot of these. You gotta keep all these things in mind. Your life is bigger than you. So yeah, while you're on unemployment, people are going to be like, well, when are you going to get a job? What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? When are you going to fucking grow up? What are you doing to this? Blah, 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 blah. And they're going to do all this shit, and you're going to get all this shit from all these people that you know. But the thing is, your life is bigger than you. You got to take the brunt of that pain for your future. Your life is bigger than you, for your future, for your family and everything. $45,000 a year is going to reduce or possibly even eliminate the arguments about money. What did your parents argue about whenever you were a kid? I bet you anything, half of it was money. $45,000 a year, going from $15,000 to $45,000 a year will reduce, maybe even eliminate the arguments about money. How are we going to afford that, Brenda? Well, I don't know. Well, what the fuck, Jason? Why don't you make a plan? Blah blah blah. Most of what happens here in America is that our parents argue about money. You can be the change agent, as the late Stephen Covey said. You can be the change agent here, and you can make it so you are not arguing about money. And people don't think this far ahead, but seriously, your life is bigger than you. It's bigger than just you. Even right now, you are making somebody's day. You are making somebody's day just by existing. Your mom is so proud of you. She would never let you know, but she's so fucking proud of you. Your dad's so proud of you. Your grandma, your adopted parents, your sister, your brother. Somebody's so proud of you. My cat fucking loves me. You've seen him in some of my videos. I have two cats, and they love the shit out of me. Like, literally, they'll come up in the middle of the night, and they'll, like, lick my face just to let me know that they love me before, like, they go somewhere else. Like, I'm in the middle of where they're trying to go, and then they'll lick my face before they go to where they want to go. That sort of stuff. Maybe it's just that is what needs to be done. I just read a story the other day about how there was this woman, who sat by the side of a lake or a pond, and she would take the turtles, and every single day she would scrub the turtle shells, and she would scrub all the algae off of her turtle shells. And she goes, well, and somebody asked her about it, and she said, well, I'm scrubbing it off of the turtle shells, and that makes them faster, it makes them sleeker, and it makes them lighter and everything, and they can catch more food and stuff like that. And they would go out to the water. And she says, well, actually, that's a really small difference. You could be using this time to do something else entirely. And you could be making a bigger difference. And she says, well, to the turtles, I'm making all the difference in the world. And the big lesson to pull out of that is no matter what kind of difference you're making a bigger difference than you think. That you can start small and you're making a difference in some way, shape, or form. I still give a monthly payment to what's it called? To Kony 2012. You can check their website. They've done a shit ton of stuff with our payments from 2012 and everything. I still give them a monthly payment to Kony 2012. And trust me, they wouldn't be able to do all that stuff if it wasn't for my payment. And it's not like it's a huge payment, but it's a little bit. And they wouldn't be able to do as many things without that payment. And if I was in a third world country, I literally would not be able to pay them the however many amount, even if it was only $20. I would not be able to pay them that amount because that's all I would make. You know, it was like $20 a month or something like that. And so I'm making that little bit of a difference. And it may seem like that's nothing, but it's something, and you're doing it. Your life is bigger than you. So you've got to take the hate and criticism. If somebody says, for the mothers out there, for the fathers out there, if somebody says your kid is fucking stupid, are you not going to fight for them? You would fight for them right then and right there. You'd be like, hold on a second, mister. I think you're a little misguided. You know, you would fight for them right there. You would put your life in danger for your kid. But the only reason that a lot of people don't is because their kid is not around yet. Well, start pretending that the baby is here. All right? Start preparing now. Start realizing that your life is bigger than you. You're going to have a lot of haters out there. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to say that what you're doing is wrong and stuff like that. But like I said, with the unemployment, it takes up less than 1% of the national budget. In the meantime, huge companies are getting back like $80 billion a year on taxes. The U.S. government is paying them. And like the entire temporary assistance for needy families, which includes all the Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, everything, and it includes like a ton of different programs, is getting like less than $1 billion a year. It's a really, really small amount that we're spending, and yet we're going, those are bad people, without looking up and going, oh, look at all those companies that are getting $80 billion a year back on taxes. Not only are they not paying taxes, but they're getting that money back on taxes. And if we just had inescapable tax laws, then we would be able to, they would actually pay the U.S. about a grand total of $1 trillion a year. We would be out of national debt, our national debt crisis, in 20 years flat. And that's all it would take. But we're too busy concentrating on each other, saying that this guy's a dick, or this guy's an asshole, or this guy's a welfare queen, or this, that, or the other. You're going to have to ignore the haters. Every single person that you've ever looked up to in your entire life has one thing in common. They're all unusual. You have to first have the strength and courage to become unusual before you can, at some point in time, become extraordinary. You have to become unusual first. You know, Mark Zuckerberg was just a guy that spent way too much time in his room for a long time. Bill Gates was just a guy who spent a lot of time in his garage. You know, there's Steve Jobs was, he would break down in tears every single time something like the littlest thing went wrong. He was extremely bipolar. He was manic depressive and everything. He was a genius, and he's managed to connect the whole world because of his efforts. And they were all just weirdos at some point in time. He was just a manic depressive at some point in time. I mean, Sylvester Stallone was homeless at some point in time. There was a lot of people out there, and they're all have one thing in common: they were unusual. So have the balls to fight for your future kid. Have the balls to just be unusual. Have the balls to have somebody say, you know, you're a piece of shit, and go, well, that's your opinion, and this is a free country. So, you know, utilize your opportunities. Utilize your opportunities. Really take into account all these different things, because your life is bigger than you. It's not just you. The things that you do now affect your fucking kid. You know, and you need to realize that. So the next time that you get laid off from your job, take your time with unemployment. Really utilize that time. Invest that time. If you can't start a diet and exercise program while you're on unemployment and you have all the time in the world, then just know that later on, whenever you have a job and you're going, well, I wish I had more time, then you're not going to be able to do it even with all the time in the world. So while you're doing unemployment, go ahead and pay $70 for every single CLEP test. Try to take all 77 CLEP tests in the 2 years that you have unemployment, in the 99 weeks that you have unemployment, and that'll CLEP your way nearly to that'll CLEP your way all the way to like a bachelor's degree, stuff like that. Take college, you know, and try to figure out what you want to do. Meet with an advisor and people like that, so that you can figure out the career that you really want to do with your life. Really put that time and effort in. Invest that time. Go from $15,000 a year to $45,000 a year. Invest that time properly. People are going to call you all sorts of names for taking advantage of the system and everything, whenever you're the smallest slice of the budget. You're literally the smallest part of the smallest slice of the budget, and people are going to call you all sorts of different names. Fuck them. You are unusual, and you have to become unusual in order to become extraordinary. So you're going to be able to influence your child's life. You're going to be able to send your child to private school instead of public school. You're going to be able to do all of these different things that the rest of your family, that everybody that you know weren't able to do. You're going to be able to afford your child's college education whenever they come around, so that they don't have to risk their lives in the military. I was in for 4 years, and I was very lucky not to get shot. I was very lucky not to get killed. You know, do you want your child to have to go off to war just to be able to afford fucking college and the same opportunities that everybody else has? Do you want to receive that notice at your door whenever they come and say that, sorry, your child has died in combat? Or even worse, during a training exercise or something like that, they were just skydiving as part of a training exercise and their fucking parachute didn't go off, something like that. I mean, these are very serious things. They don't, with the battles that you are unable to fight today are going to be the battles that are going to be refought in the future by your children. You are going to have to stand up for your kids even though they are not here yet. Because you know for a fact that if somebody called your kid a fucking idiot, you would punch him in the face. And that's just the thing. You would take it out on them. You would make sure to defend your kid. I know that. You know that. So it's time to start acting like your life is bigger than you. Because your life is bigger than you. Take advantage of all the opportunities that you have. As an American citizen, you're always taught to vote because you have that right. You're always taught to use your freedom of speech because you have that right and everything. Well, use all of your freedoms. Use all of your freedoms. Invest this time wisely. Only you can take yourself from where you are to and be that change agent in your family. Be that person that goes farther than anybody that you know. You can go from the $15,000 a year, what your family makes, to the $45,000 a year. You can do that kind of shit, but it's up to you. You're going to have to become unusual. You're going to have to become a weirdo, but eventually you shall become extraordinary. And for that, I thank you, and I promise you, I'll see you in the next video.